This is minor, and this is minor's roadmap to success. In this video, we're going to basically kind of summarize a lot of stuff we did in the session. Now, obviously, with his spinal issue, we had to change some stuff that I normally do. The guardian in this house is doing a really good job. A lot of people, when they have a dog that has an injury, they spoil the dog, they feel bad for the dog, they feel sorry for it, and that creates actually, it can actually be detrimental to the dog, because they start feeling like they're like everybody's just giving them everything, but they don't have anything. Sing. We'll talk about that one in a sec. But their low self-esteem is kind of rocked because of they can't do certain things they used to be able to do, and then other people are forcing them to do other things now that they can do. So I have a friend named Stefan who unfortunately is also in a chair, and I was out with him with some buddies, and everybody wanted to push him. And I finally asked him, I'm like, do you want? He goes, no, you should always ask. Sing. That's passive training. We'll talk about that in a sec. So for him, I think a lot of people that are in his life want to pick him up and smother him with love and do things for him. And while those people mean the best, they're actually kind of crutching him a little bit and limiting. I have a dog that's an elderly dog, and my first dog, when he started getting infirm, I started doing everything for him, and then I accelerated his demise. He is in his prime. We need him to start earning his affection and feel good about himself because of that. So let's see if we can do it here. Down. Down. Remember, anytime you give a treat, the treat goes in the mouth first, and then we say the word afterwards. So instead of petting him because he was whining or giving him one of the treats because he was whining, I made him do something to earn it. That can boost his self-esteem and make him feel better about himself. Now, we talked about some of the things I talk about in a lot of my sessions. We talk about rules and structure. Now for him, because a lot of times I ask dogs to sit before we do things, we can't do as much of those things for him for obvious reasons. But he can lay down, and we also taught him in one of the videos above, minor target, a hand targeting exercise. So one of the things I'd like the guardian to do before we get back to rules is arrange to have some friends come over. There's a lot of friends that do want to help him, but most people feel sorry for him when we just give him treats ad nauseum. So one of the things we can do is have the friends come over and do the hand targeting exercise and make him lay down. Make him do things to earn it, and then he has practice when people come over, good things happen if I do what they want me to do. Now, right now the house is going through renovation, so we have a lot of construction workers that are coming by, and he barks at them ad nauseum. And I think that he thinks that his job, the way he contributes, is by in charge of security. And so he barks at people as they pass by the house, and they leave. Well, in his mind, that seemed to have worked. Now, and also a lot of people have been giving him affection and treats for no reason, and it's a good thing to do up to a certain limit. But the guardians had a lot of people come over for parties, and everybody just gives him a treat, and then he goes to the next person, and then he just starts barking at everybody, keep on giving me treats. Well, if you make him earn something, then he will start pro-offering that particular behavior. He'll start laying down to earn that affection, or touching their hand. One of the things I'd like the guardians to do is buy him a whole bunch of different toys, plushie toys, different stuff, and then put it in a basket somewhere where he can get to. Every time he brings you that toy, pet him and say Trump if it's an elephant, or DNA, or pizza, or whatever. Name each individual toy so it has its own unique designation. So after a while, that could be something you want my attention, you want a treat, go get me the pineapple. Go get me the zebra, or whatever it is. And don't say go get me, just say zebra. And when he goes over and gets it to you, he gets the treat. Naming things that he does is what I call passive training. So every time he lays down his own, pet him and say down. Every time he goes forward, say charge. Every time he backs up, say retreat, left and right. Sing. Now the sing I would probably hold off on for now because he's doing this to demand attention. It's cute, so we can do it a little bit, but we don't want him to start doing it pro-offering, because what will happen is they'll start to come up to you to prepay for your attention by offering these actions and behaviors. So we'd rather have him come and lay down than come and sing or bark at someone. Now, because he is a big power barker, I did teach, I went over how you can teach a dog to be quiet. In order to teach a dog to be quiet or silence, first we have to teach them to speak. Speak. You were doing it earlier. I don't think it was erupted enough to get him to do it. So when he is in that barking mode, when he barks, speak. Give him the treat right afterwards and say speak or woof or whatever the word is that you want to do. And after you've done it enough, you say speak, but, and then you say quiet or silence, and then give it to him a second. After a second of silence. Then we want 2 seconds of silence, and then 3 seconds, and we gradually elongate them. Now this is teaching him what we want him to do. It does not mean that he is going to be inclined to want to do what we want to do. That's kind of the other thing where we have to get him to start identifying more as a follower and earning his affection. And so when we have we do have vendors and people that are coming over, one of the things we talked about was increasing his exercise. And it's a really simple way to do it. What was the word we used? When you threw the...
Oh, charge.
No, when you threw the treat.
Oh, London.
London, there we go. So basically what we do is we throw the treat. And that was on me because it's the treats are the same color as the floor. Hey, buddy. Here. So let's do a turn. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Always go back to his nose if he stops. So I throw the treat. Oh, come on. There you go. London. So what we're going to do when we have vendors come over, oh, careful, that's right, just so you can manually do it. There you go. We have new camera equipment, special effects here at Doggone Problems. So basically what we want to do is when we have vendors come over, right now he just barks at them ad nauseum. And so that he gets frustrated with them being here. What we want to do is we want to actually teach him that it's a good positive thing to have the people come over. So when they come over, when he's doing these things, he can't be barking and getting the treats at the same time. So when you have a vendor coming over and they're talking about what they're going to do this wall, just do it yourself first. Throw a treat, he goes and gets it and say London, he comes back and do it again. And after you do it like 5 or 6 times, then hand your vendor some of these treats, have them split it in half. London. Now this one is here, London should be like about 10 or more feet away. Make sure he sees you when you throw it, and I would probably throw a full treat to make it easy for him to be able to see it. Now something else, dogs, there's an expression, don't bite the hand that feeds you. So this is a bully stick, which is a healthy thing for him to have. Now he also likes Kongs. Giving him one of these or a Kong while we have guests come over helps him practice not barking at them because he's preoccupied. Now, what I would recommend the guardian do is get somebody who can build something. You could probably just use vice grips or some sort of a vice that basically holds it like this, where you can have it on the ground and it's held for him because he doesn't have the ability to do it with his front paws because he's got to keep himself supported. So if he has a long bully stick that is in a place that's a position, he can go chew on it. He can't ingest the whole thing, and it preoccupies and gives him something to do. Now, you could have the construction workers hold it here as long as they're confident. If they're worried he's going to bite and they drop it, that's not going to be a good idea. So in that case, we could just maybe just give him a Kong filled with peanut butter and let him roll that thing around while we have the vendor in the house. That way he's practicing not barking at the vendor. He's practicing something good happening while the vendor's around, and he's happy and content as a clam. And he's not, the more that he practices, we have people come over and visit where he doesn't bark at them, the more he's going to be inclined to do that. And it's going to take about 30 days for this. So what I would do is try to arrange to have guests or friends come over at first so you can throw the treat and do London, as well as giving them the Kong and stuff like that, where if it's a vendor, it's somebody who's kind of trying to get your business, so you have a little bit more leeway in what you're doing. If it's a real guest at a house and a dinner party, you're going to feel bad if he's barking at them. So we have a tendency to shush him or do things like that. If he's barking and we shush him, he's like, cool, it worked. I'm trying to get their attention, and I got their attention. So one of the best things we can do is ignore, but as the guardian mentioned to me, he'll bark the whole time. So we want to create some positive associations for him. Having a Kong that's secured somehow so that he can chew on it but he can't take it away, and it holds it for him is great. The bully stick. The Kong kind of moves around as he does it, so he gets more of a workout for him. The guardians might also want to get a VRAM pet robot, VRAAM. It's on Kickstarter, but it should be shipping pretty quickly. And so that'd be a great one because he can chase it around the house. It's a great companion for him. I would like to see him with another dog, but he's not a big fan of other dogs, and so that's not going to be a great situation. Now, when I met him, what I did to make sure I facilitated a good meeting is we met outside. So when I got there, I put a trail of treats, like 2 treats on every square on the sidewalk, and I was sitting on the next door, the ledge next door. And so he came and got a treat, got another treat. By the time he came up to me, I held my hand out with the same treat. He's like, wow, I associate this with this positive stuff because these good treats, and I'm getting them from this guy, so this guy must be a good guy as well. Let me see. So one other thing I talked about was is feeding. For a lot of us, we eat, well, first of all, do we leave food out for him? I forgot to ask about this. Okay, so what I do is I put food down, I eat something first. Dogs eat in order of their rank. Now, if you're not getting your actual meal, just get a chip or a carrot or something you can eat 5 or more bites. Well, there's food in the bowl, and he's not allowed to eat it, preferably. And if you can't achieve that, you can hold it. But you eat something first, and then you put the bowl down, or then you give him permission to eat his food. So he sees you eating first every day, or whoever the person's feeding him, that person has more rank or status. and that will help him start to identify as being more of a follower. There we go, he saw the treat open. And so the more, and so there we go. And so the more that we help him do things for people to earn affection. Oh, he hurled a little bit. He's going to hurl again. That's all right. All right, we'll clean that up in a minute. So this is another example of why holding that thing, something that holds it for him will be better so he doesn't ingest the whole thing. Okay, now the other thing is because he's in the chair, there's sometimes he lays on the ground, that's how he does it down, but it's probably not the most comfortable position for him. So what I would recommend the guardian do is we want to build a little bit of a ramp. So the ramp would be small enough so that the wheels can be on the outside of it, and it just has a little bit of an incline, and then so it would be a little bit of an incline and then a square on top of it. So the wheels are on each side, he walks up it, and he can lay down, and he's in the same position that he is when he's standing, so the height-wise. And so you can put that somewhere, and what you can do is lure him into that. Every time he gets in there, call it, lazy boy, or whatever the word is, spa, or lounge, chase. But come up with a word, and so that way when he's being a nuisance, we can tell him to go there, and he knows what to do. Now in the videos above, we have a hand targeting exercise. We also have the exercise about teaching him directions. Set up obstacle courses in your house and do these things, and you can have guests doing this with him as well. We want to make it fun and interactive when guests come. Something else I forgot to mention that I think would be really good for him is scent games. Scent meaning smell. So what you can do is have him outside or have him in a bedroom and then hide treats. Now, it can be as simple as if this is like a leg to a chair, you can't, the leg's going here, he's over there, I hide the treat there. And he comes around, oh, treat, and he finds it, and we say hunt or search or whatever it is. So now he's using his nose to find the treats. Dogs, when their nose controls 60% of their brain, and it's very stimulating and draining for him. That's a great way to boost his self-esteem. It's a great way for him to get a little bit of exercise. Now for exercise, I would like to see the guardians exercising him before guests come over, before dinner parties, before construction guys, if possible. And if you're going to meet a new construction guy, the nice thing to do would just be, hey, put an X on the sidewalk, and just before, hey, text me when you get here, just stay in your truck, go put the treats down, and then come inside and get him, and just say, just go sit right there, lead him up to the people. And after a while, I was like, I take this magic tree trail, and I go to meet somebody new, and then we walk, and just walk 2 or 3 houses down the street, talking about whatever it is you want him to do, and then turn around and come back in the house. So now he meets him outside. Dogs process things by literally moving forward, and we have the positive association of the treats. Now, he loves to go out and about, and his guardians have a lot of people who want to pet him. Well, that's great, but he probably isn't a big fan of getting petted. There we go. Everybody. So if somebody says, can I pet him? There we go. So what I want to have the guardian do is have these high-value training treats with her, and she says, down, 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 down. And then we can hand the treat to the next person and they do that. Now before we get to that point, we'd like to have him doing this with friends that are coming over to the house. So remember, go through your Rolodex, people that you haven't seen for a while, call them, hey, you haven't seen the new house we're working on, why don't you come over, I got a nice bottle of wine, and you can help me with the dog too. Yes, let's go ahead, we're not going to do that since you threw up the one earlier, we're going to leave this for you and mom can hold on to it later. But having people hold this prevents him from swallowing and ingesting the whole thing. We don't have it. We won't show it on film, but it's he regurgitated a little bit, and in not the most polite way. All right. So when you're feeding him, make sure does he eat all his food right away? Okay. Does he eat really fast?
Yes.
You can put like a golf ball or 2 in there with that. There's feeders. One of them looks like shag carpet. And he's got to move it around. That would be a really good one for him. That makes eating longer. Something else you can do is I feed my dogs out of an Omega treat dispensing ball. It's orange. It looks like a golf ball, except for it's orange. It has divots in it. And it's got a little hole with a sleeve. And you can put his kibble in there. And he's got to nudge it just right to get a couple pieces of kibble to fall out. And he eats that. And it slows down the eating process. Also helps him feel better about himself because he earned that food as he hunted it, essentially, as opposed to being given it. But make sure whoever's feeding him eats something first. Is there anything I'm forgetting that we didn't talk about? I think I covered everything, but we covered a lot. So if you have any questions or something new, try to teach him new tricks or commands. The more tricks and commands he knows, the better he's going to be. Now, you're going to have to modify them, but if you have one you can't figure out how to modify, message me and let me know, and I can come up with some solutions for you. But please don't hesitate. If you have a question or problem, I want to be available to you. But if I don't hear from you, I assume that means everything is peachy and going great. So if you have a backtrack, something doesn't work right, message me, text me. I'm happy to help you. I usually help with a quick phone call or a text message. All right, Minor, why don't we come over here? Let's do one more U-turn. Everybody. Come everybody. Minor. How about we go this way? There you go. Well, this is Minor. Isn't he a handsome fellow? And this is Minor's roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog. Only sometimes you need it.